Welcome to Intune demo, guys. I would be your trainer, and I've been teaching Intune for about 4 years now, and I also teach SCCM and packaging. That's about me, and I have about 11 years of IT experience. I work as an architect for one of the firms based out of Bangalore. I basically design end-user computing technologies. So that's my profile. And this class, about this class, basically it's going to be completely a practical session. Okay, and I'm going to be covering as much as production-based scenarios and production-based issues. Okay, in the classes, because what I did observe in most of the Udemy classes and most of the YouTube classes is that nobody is talking about what happens in the backend when you click on something in Intune. Everybody says, go here, click this, this happens. But ultimately, you can get that anywhere. But what happens in the background? How does the workflow happens? Okay, what will get triggered? Okay, all these things. I know it is cloud, but yes, there are so many actions that happen, so that you, with this class, you should be able to ask right questions, and also should be able to handle any kind of hybrid Windows 10 projects, and also Azure Cloud Windows 10 projects or Windows 11 projects after this class using your Intune. So we'll be touch basing here and there on SCCM as well, so that you can connect your knowledge to existing production environment. So that is the whole motive of my class, and my class keeps on changing from one batch to other batch, because I keep on adding something new. Okay, so I think here also I have done a few changes for you guys as well, so that because Intune is maturing every month, so accordingly my classes would get matured. Okay, now before I proceed further, so what is this Intune basically? Very simple. It's an endpoint device manager. So what is this endpoint device manager? It will manage your Windows 10, it manages your mobile devices. Okay, so how does it manage? It manages through internet. Okay, your machines need not be connected to your company on-premise domain. Okay, so yeah, there is a scenario where it can be connected as well, but still you can manage your device without getting connected to your on-premise. That is, anywhere in the world your user can convert his machine to a company machine. Anywhere in the world, you can just ship a machine, or you can go to a local store, buy the model or specification that you give, and convert that machine to a company machine. That the concept is called Windows 10 Autopilot. I will talk really in detail about Windows 10 Autopilot when we go ahead. Now let me give a small difference, since most of you guys know about SCCM. Just to give you a link between Intune and SCCM, let me tell you, okay, how this particular Intune is different from SCCM. Okay, so in very simple terms, okay, for you to just have a visual information, let me show you a small slide. Okay, so when it comes to SCCM, okay, so currently about close to 250,000 companies are actually using. So their SCCM is managing close to 50 million endpoints, whereas Intune it will reach 50 million, but not now, maybe in another 7 to 8 years. Okay, now there is a limitation in SCCM where you cannot deliver applications of more than 8 GB. Oh, sorry, in Intune. But in SCCM you can deliver, applications which is even up to 30 GB. You can deliver those, and it is not very complex. Okay. One of the disadvantages of SCCM is you cannot uninstall, or there is no out of the box feature for you to uninstall and patch in SCCM, but you have out of the box feature in Intune where you can uninstall the patch. So these are some of the differences. Yes, you can still uninstall the patch in SCCM using a application model or a package model. Okay, so like this, and in a system you require a SQL server. Okay, whereas in Intune you don't require a SQL server. Okay, now what has happened is Microsoft has made sure that anybody who is having an SCCM license can also have Intune licenses. So because of all this, it has become a lot of clients now are asking for Intune capabilities. Now, are they asking you to become an Intune expert? No. They are looking out for Intune starters. Okay, so if you're able to answer how a simple workflow of autopilot happens, because most of the projects currently is autopilot. So what is happening in autopilot? Very simple. It is replacing your image management. Your image management is going to go away, say about in next 7 to 8 years. It is going to absolutely go away, or even if it is there, the demand is going to be less. So whoever is in the image management has to migrate to Intune, okay, so that they are relevant within the current market. Okay, so like this, there are many differences, and you can manage Intune by just using a browser, whereas you have to manage a CCM by using you need a separate machine with a certain configuration, and then you have to install a console in that machine. Okay, so basically even you can manage simple tab or something you can use manage your Intune as well. It is simple. So what are the capabilities of Intune? Okay, what does Intune do? Okay, very simple. So it has few major capabilities that is used in the market currently is application deployment, Windows update for business, Windows 10 or 11 autopilot. Okay, this is like star very important. Most of the companies are using this. Okay, so and along with this, we are basically using it for so we have your application imaging and patching, and also for inventory management. So now there are two types of models where the companies are using this Intune for. Okay, what are those models? So first one, okay, which is majorly used as hybrid device management or hybrid Azure. Okay, domain run. Next is just Azure domain run, or you would say Azure run. So only these two scenarios are in place currently. Okay, so you will be either working on this one, which is very complex. Okay, very complex. Microsoft does not recommend this. Okay, this is very easy. Okay, now I'm going to be talking a lot about this because in reality most of the clients are asking for this. Now why are they asking for this? Because currently they have lot of applications which are dependent on your LDAP authentication, like your Kerberos authentication within your Active Directory. That means you to log into those applications, it has to get authenticated within your Active Directory, which is not yet cloud enabled. So most of the companies don't want to migrate because a lot of licensing costs, a lot of money involved in purchasing the licenses of those apps. So most of the companies, they say they want to have line of sight. What is line of sight for their on-premise? So this is about 70%, and there are rest 30% who are actually looking for complete modern device management. Now, Can we, is this very complex? Yes, it is complex. Is it achievable? Absolutely achievable. Now what happens here is, here both your SCCM plus Intune works together. Okay, here only Intune. Okay. Now we are going to talk in detail about how it works, what are the advantages, disadvantages. You can also talk about your production-based scenarios where I would also tell my consults to you. Okay, so it's not only go about Intune, you can talk about anything related to the end user computing technology. If I'm aware of it, if I've seen it, I would have seen most of the scenarios. I will explain to you in detail. Okay, now let me come to the our lab. So all of you will be given a separate login ID and password with an Intune uh, administrator access. Okay, so that you will be able to practice in your own lab. So all that I require from you is to have a virtual machine or a Hyper-V machine or a Oracle VirtualBox machine within your personal laptop. Okay, one Windows 10 machine, so that all the scenarios which I tell, okay, all the exercises which I tell, you can do within your own lab. So you will, all of you guys will have access to the dashboard. Okay, so that it is easy for you to work. Any questions on the lab, guys? Any questions on the lab? Jagdish, Praveen, Ranjit, Shafiq, Sri.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Now, yeah. Now let me tell you how this class will be helping you. Currently, the job market, as you guys know, we are getting a lot of SCCM guys or Windows guys who, okay, but we are not getting people with basic Intune skills. Now, why are we not getting people with the basic Intune skills? Is nobody has seen the reality in the production. They know what is Intune, they have seen some YouTube videos. But when we talk one level deeper, like, how does an application deployment happen? What is the troubleshooting method? When something goes wrong, nobody's even talking about the logs. Okay, when we tell, like for SCCM, you'll tell app enforcement log, app intent development, but like that, nobody tells about what logs do they see. So just for a demo purpose, what I will do, I will simply show you a simple application deployment that we have done using our Intune Lab. So before I do that, okay, let me show you. We have deployed. This is the lab of my current ongoing class. Okay, I have a lot of students who are attending this class. So here, if you see, we have deployed few apps here. Okay, now all of these apps are deployed to few set of users, out of which one of the machines is this. Now, when I want to go ahead and install, this company portal is similar to your software center within your SCCM. This is a Intune equivalent to your software center in SCCM. So what's happening is, let me go ahead. Now, if I go ahead and click on install here, if you see here it is loading. If I go ahead and click on install, what's happening? Where is this app getting downloaded, how it is getting installed? Okay, very simple. Let me tell you about, there are about close to 32 steps that will happen when you just click on install. How many steps? 32 steps. I'm going to just talk to you about simple 2 or 3 steps for you to have a better understanding. First and foremost, what will happen is when you click on install, the content gets downloaded here. So let me go to program files. C drive, program files, x86, Intune management extension. Okay, and here you can go for content, incoming. Here your download will start. So let me go ahead and click on install. Now first what will happen, it is getting installed over the internet. Okay, so you will be seeing an application here in a format. So let's say it is download pending. Your device is syncing and will begin downloading your app shortly. So after here, next what it will do? Okay, where will it go? So from here, a zipped version of your application will get downloaded and it will get unzipped. And where will it go? It will go to this location. How? Go to C drive, Windows C, within your operating system, how much, if you know, how much migration it's happening from one location to other location. So it will go to IME cache. Okay, this will take about few minutes. Okay, and user need not go ahead and install always. So we can also, this is basically like your available deployment. We can also do a required deployment for your Intune content. After this, it will get installed. So while this is happening, okay, while this is happening, we'll go and discuss a little bit about, okay, how are the users bought into Intune. So first and foremost, there are two methods in which users get created. The first thing is they will either sync your on-premise Active Directory or they will directly create users in an Active Directory, or you can also create users in your Intune. For class purpose, what I will do, I'm going to create a user in Intune so that I can show how that user is also seen into Active Directory. Now, if you see there are a few set of users. So if I click on new, so let me give a name. So here I can see somebody's name, say Ranjit. So let me click on Ranjit. Okay. So I'm going to name him as just Ranjit. Then again Ranjit. So if his last name might be Kumar, so I'll just give it as Kumar. Okay, I can give my own password or I can give an auto generate a password. So I'll just give an auto generate password. Here, usage location. This is very important, guys. I should always give the usage location, because when we give conditional access, we do a lot of settings based on the usage location as well. So here, let me give as Intune administrator. See here, I'm creating within your Intune, guys, not creating in AD. Now department, let me give UC department, and company name, let me give it as LaraOnlineTraining. Now manager, so let me give myself as a manager to you guys. So now once I create, see, my user is automatically created. That means this particular user, once it as a license is assigned to him, he will be able to manage your entire Intune. So I will not be able to manage license to Ranjit, because I only have 9 licenses for this class. I've used all of those, but ideally I can assign the license by going to licenses, assignment, enterprise mobility, and save. Okay, Pretty okay, pretty good. It's done. So okay, one of the users I removed it recently, so that's why we have a very you got it assigned. Now Ranjit has got license assigned. Now this is in Intune. Now what if I want to see the same ID in Azure? So if you go to all services, you can go to your Azure. And guys, do not panic. You need not be an expert in Azure. You need not know Azure, but you should be able to just manage, okay, with the basic knowledge of Azure. Okay, you will not be working much here other than the users and devices. Okay, because most before Intune was part of your Azure, but now it is all completely moved to a separate. It moved to a separate console, so endpoint.microsoft.com. So you need not worry about it. Okay, here if I go to users, you can see your Ranjit's ID is present here. You can see your Ranjit's ID being present here. Okay, you can see the licenses that we have assigned. So there is a sync between your Intune and your Azure Active Directory. Now let me give you a small background, okay, of what is this, how is this Intune comes into picture, how does it work? Okay, let me give you a small background. Now first and foremost, you have your Azure Active Directory. And you have your end user machine, which is directly talking to your Azure Active Directory. Okay, your UC machine. Okay, that is end user machine that is connected to your. Let us take it as from Windows 10. Windows 10. Client 1. Okay. Now what will happen is this particular machine will get enrolled to your Azure Active Directory. So that means you can see the client 1 here. Now, where is Intune coming into picture? Where is Intune? Now, what happens is you will enable the mobile device management, that is your MDM, using Intune, and you will establish a sync between them. We will do all those things, and you will establish a sync between your Azure Active Directory. And so once there is a sync, from here the client 1 will comes into your Intune. When your client 1 comes into your Intune, you will be able to manage, okay, deploy patches, do Windows Update for Business, deploy applications to this machine. So basically you'll be able to manage the endpoint machine. Now how that sync happens, all those details I will tell you in the class. Clear, guys? Yeah, all of you. Now let's go back and see if you're lucky enough. Oh, it is still downloading, guys. I mean, my internet maybe, but it's good because I'm running on a virtual machine. It will take some time, but on a holistic level, in the class or the lab, you will be able to see in your own machine. The apps will get downloaded here, and it will get extracted in this location. Now, when that's happening, where will you see the details? Very simple. You will see that in something called as Intune Management Extension logs. Now, where is this log present? Okay, where is this log present? Where is this Intune Management Extension logs present? Very simple. See, let's wait for it. It's downloading, so it will take time. You can see the log in this location, guys. percentage, program data percentage, which will go to C program data. Here you can see that under Microsoft, Intune management extension under logs. Okay, here you'll be seeing it in the Intune management extension log. Your application deployment, how it is deploying, all those details will come. See, now it looks like gibberish. We'll be using a CM trace to open it in the class. Okay, so that you can see how you can see basically your traffic coming from internet. So you'll be able to detailedly understand how this log works. Okay, so any questions for me, guys, about the class? In the meantime, let it get downloaded. So any questions for me? And those of you who have not put your phone numbers in the chat, please do put your phone numbers in the chat. It's pretty important, guys. Yeah, go forward. Ask me your questions.
So in the flow diagram you showed, where the how that difference from the hybrid model?
Okay, so I'm not going to go very technical into hybrid model as of now. So you have your
Superficial.
on-premise ID.
Okay.
Okay, this is the on-premise ID. So what will happen is there should be a sync that will happen between these two-way sync that will happen. Okay, now this sync time is 60 minutes. Within 60 minutes, it has to happen. Okay, 60 minutes. So this is a pretty, there will be something called as ODJ connector, user certificate. So many things are there, which I'm going to give you a very, very detailed diagrams in the class. It's going to be very in-depth. Okay. Now, this is the biggest challenge in production currently. Okay. Why? Because you are inheriting legacy infrastructure. You are inheriting legacy infrastructure. Now, if on-premise AD means there will be many sites, right? Now, if the replication is not working within the site, it's not going to be single AD server. There could be 50, 60 servers if it's a big organization. So you will be working a lot with the Active Directory team while implementing anything in the hybrid region. Because if hybrid region gets screwed up, your onboarding of machines to Azure Active Directory is screwed up, you will not be able to manage machines using your Intune. So there's a big complication here. There are disadvantages of this. There are advantages of pretty less, more than advantages, a lot of disadvantages. So I'll talk in detail about it. So basically using Azure AD connector, it will get synced and you should be able to manage infrastructure.
Okay,
Okay.
so another question is like, actually in our company, the Microsoft team, they are working with our AD team for doing this one. But as an
Mhm.
Intune administrator or what, as a SCM administrator, do I need to know anything about uh, how this hybrid joining
You need to
happens?
know, but you'll not be able to fix it because you'll not have access to it.
Okay,
Okay, so I would say don't get into that. Well, this is not technical reasons. It's basically a role-based reason. Okay, because I'll talk to you about replication links. A lot of AD concepts also I'll go into when I talk about hybrid AD join. Okay, so what will happen is for you, your application is not getting deployed or you're not getting a machine. When you raise a ticket right to Microsoft, you should be able to point them in the right direction. And trust me, guys, Intune as a product has uh, uh, a lot of problems, a lot of issues, and scripting is one of the solutions for it. But you should most of the Intune tickets are free, so you should be able to raise accurate tickets. For that, you should know the technology so that you can ask right questions to Microsoft. So I'll be talking to you about entire as much as workflows as possible, okay, in the back end of what Intune happens. Okay, that's the whole point of you guys taking this class, because that those workflows are not available in any of the YouTube or Udemy. Got it?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Others, any questions? Guys, please shoot your questions. Okay. Praveen, uh, Ranjit, Vinod, Vishnu, Suresh. Any questions? You're welcome. Guys, this is the chance. Jagdish, if you have any more questions, anything related to industrial computing, I'm okay. I'll answer. Not on Intune.
Yeah, nothing at this time. So yeah, I have so many questions, but it's not.
Shoot one or two so that it can help others as well. Go ahead, shoot.
Um, so like we have like currently we have mostly uh, this distribution points. So in Intune, how users will get
In
like
Intune, there's no concept of distribution point. It is
so
completely downloading from internet. See, now
okay
also I'm
so
installing application. I don't have a deployed in distribution point. It's coming
okay
from internet.
okay so when we have
Completely
the
cloud.
hybrid when we have hybrid model so if devices that are on premise they will use the DP and those who are like working from home they get from the
See,
Intune.
you're talking about SSM deployment. Okay.
Yeah, means
So in
once
hybrid
we
model, if you're working from home, if you're not connected to VPN, it will go from a cloud DP. Your CMG can act as your cloud DP. Okay.
okay
From there it will go. Okay. Now, when you do an Intune deployment, it will come from internet. It will not even use your SSM.
okay
Got it?
yeah
So
got it.
SCCM, yeah, SCCM deployment, it uses agent, DP, it uses that infra. Intune deployment, it's completely over the cloud.
Okay, so suppose yeah because I'm
No
new to
problem.
it.
See, this
Yeah,
is for people who are new. These
yeah.
ask.
So I'm
Okay.
trying to
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand. So, so,
Go ahead,
so,
ask.
so when like say when they are in the office, they will get they connected to the local network. So they will. So when we so is that deployments will be separate for from say
It will
suppose I
be
want to
deployment
deploy.
is completely separate for SCCM, completely separate for Intune. It's two different consoles. If you are
Okay,
using
okay,
co-management, you can. If you are using application deployment using Intune, you cannot use the application deployment using your SCCM because there is something called as workloads. So you'll be setting the workloads of which technology that you will be using for which feature. So if you're using application deployment for SCCM, you will not be using it for Intune. If you're using it for
okay,
Intune,
okay,
you cannot use it for SCCM. The same way for patch management also. Using patch management for SCCM, you cannot use the patch management for Intune, vice versa.
okay, okay. I
Okay.
got it. So that means like suppose I want
So
to
what
deploy
feature is there now? Yeah, administrator workloads. There you
Mhm.
can check manage it, not a problem in SCCM.
Okay, okay. So that means if I have to deploy an application, like say suppose new version of Edge, so then I have to if deploy both through the SCCM as well as in the Intune console.
Can you shoot your question again, please?
Uh, so if we have the Intune, so we still use the SCCM, right?
No, see, it depends on what model your client is working on. Is it completely SCCM model or sorry, completely Intune model or both?
Yeah,
SCCM plus Intune, that's two management.
yeah, it's
So
both. I think they are
if
planning
they're
to have
using
it both.
both,
Uh-huh.
if they're using both, you will have to decide which feature you have to use in which technology. In SCCM, if you're going to use, most of the people are right now are implemented Intune co-management for Windows 10 Autopilot. So that is every other feature they're still using through Intune. because they're not very happy with so every other feature they're using for SCCM. They're not very happy with the way Intune works as of now. Okay, but slowly down the lane they will be moving to Intune, and that's 100% because Intune is adding a lot of features. So it will slowly get moved. So currently, most of the people are right now using Intune only for autopilot.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Yes. Others, if you have any questions, please shoot.
Kishore, one question here. So how it is Accredited is working for both SSM and Intune management?
So, see, for SCCM, it is on-premise Active Directory. It has nothing to do with your Azure Active Directory. Okay, for SCCM, it is completely on-premise. So, what will happen is you here, let me show you my screen. So, your SCCM will come here. So this is how it works. Okay, this is one infra, this is another infra. There will be a sync that will be established between your on-premise and Azure. Okay, and there will be a
Okay.
co-management feature enabled within your SCCM. And using the co-management feature, okay, you set the workload, and workload gets divided between your Intune and your SCCM.
Okay.
That
And
is
one more
managed by
doubt
your
is,
SCCM client. Yes, go
sorry,
ahead,
come
sir.
again.
That is managed by your SCCM client. Okay, the
Okay.
workloads. Okay. Yeah,
So while
tell
searching
me.
the users, right? So we can search in as well as in SSM Accurately, or we can search in Intune, right? The both we can see the same username,
Everywhere
right?
it should be. Everywhere it should be the same set of users. Yes,
Okay,
there should be a
fine.
sync. See, in a system, it's a discovery. You enable discovery methods for
Correct.
on-premise ID. In Azure Active Directory, it is a sync. You're not going to enable a discovery or something. Any users that is in sync to this Active Directory using Azure AD connector, that will come here. Okay, but one more thing I have to make clear, guys. I'm going to be covering this class is going to be a full to full Intune class. SCCM I'll touch base only theoretically, but it's going to all the practicals will happen for Intune. Just so that you're not misinformed. Okay, it will be a core Intune class. Okay, because
Okay.
SCCM I'll
Uh,
do. Yeah,
yeah, Kishore, one more doubt. See, in the
yeah.
Intune, you're telling that depth knowledge, or it's like a touch by the step by steps, or so what is the procedure going to teach us in the Intune part?
The procedure is I see. I'll be open with you. When I do an interview, okay, when I ask my interviewee or the candidates certain steps or the workflows, nobody knows that. They are only telling to what to do in the console. That anybody with a YouTube can tell. But to troubleshoot, nobody is able to read the log or understand the log or the workflow. Now you see this diagram. It is a very simple diagram. What I did, I said on-premise. This basic knowledge they don't have. Okay, this is the things you'll be taking away. So that when you go and talk in a call, when you're able to write an email to your manager or when you're doing some technical activity, you are able to pinpoint the problem and accurately solve it. So that's my idea of doing the class. So I'll be mostly going through workflows. What are the different features, how it works, why those features, and you'll be also be doing it practically. And the lab, all that you need is one virtual Windows 10 machine, man. That's it. Using that, you can practice. And you can set up in your own personal machine with about 6 GB or 4 GB RAM for Windows 10. And you can connect it to the Intune. And I'll be teaching you all those things about how it works, how to connect, what are the different methods of enrollment. There are about 9 methods. I'll be teaching you all the 9 methods. Okay, out of which you can use one or two and enroll, the whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, so we'll be talking very in detail. So this is if you see, currently students they have their own set of machines here. Okay, so they keep on playing with those machines. This is the ongoing class lab. So we have a lot of machines and we can see them. Yeah, this is how the class is going to be. So you can see most of my students have enrolled different missions. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sure. There's a Sridhar here. Sri here.
Yeah, Sridhar, tell me.
Since you're giving this app installation, right? So from the company portal, what you have been showing over here. So I think we do by default. You have been selecting the default apps, and you're trying to install the app, right?
No. This is packaged and deployed apps, not default apps. These
Not
are
the default app.
So
when you do a package deployment, I think you have to do the prep controller conversions, right? That Intune
yes,
converter or something is that right?
yes. We will be doing that. You will be converting the MSIs. I'll also be teaching you scripting, a little bit of packaging also I'll be teaching you because I don't want you to be a handicap when it comes to, I'll be teaching a PowerShell app deployment toolkit so that you can do any kind of Windows deployment using that.
Okay. As a part of deployment, as you mentioned, for the logs, the program data, Microsoft, Intune, whatever this IME dot log, right? That log, is it possible to view the download contents like what we see for in SCCM, the download which has been completed 10% or 20%? In that way, we can find out in the same Intune also.
No,
IME
the
logs?
10-20%. That 20% will not come. No, those things you cannot see. Either it's download or not. The percentage thing you cannot.
Okay. So when we do this deployment, how do I find the package ID in this log by the name or something? How do we identify the logs? Means identify the application name in the log.
In the IME extension, you will be able to see the MSI for installing the application deployment with the app name. You will be able to see. Okay, I don't have the thing. It's not installed in your.
Is there any way we can check the app ID on the console, on the Intune console, for the apps or something like that?
You'll be able to see. You'll be able to see like this. Win32 app.
Just a moment.
So here you should, yeah. So you have to look out for Win32 app. You have to look for the timeline, and then you can see the installer and all those things, install command and all those things. Basically, this is the method. So,
okay, and apart from this, I think do you provide this as I mentioned initially, the autopilot thing concept, right? That Windows 10 always deployment or autopilot.
Okay, can you be clear with your question? You want you want to do an autopilot in the class?
Yes, I need that.
Yeah, we will be doing an autopilot.
In the classes that like is
very detailedly and detailedly autopilot.
Okay.
Yeah, because without that, what's in class? Everything I'll tell actually. See, I'll tell you openly. Okay, I've executed close to in past 4 years around eight practical projects on Intune. Okay, so a lot of experience on those 8 projects. So complete end to end. So I'll be talking a lot about issues I faced, limitations, how that is overcome. All of those practical stuff I'll talk, and I'll also tell you where you have to be careful before accepting a project or before when you're going and talking to a client. Which responsibility you should take, which responsibility you should not take. So all those things I'll tell you, because basically see, something we do not know, you end up. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, because I'm just trying to do an autopilot as a lab in my premises. So I'm just failing on the hybrid domain. I'm failing on the hybrid domain John over the VPN. This is where are challenges for me to. No, it's in my personal lab. Actually, I'm just stuck over
so
this
autopilot. You set up your SCCM and then you're doing it?
Yeah.
Or just AD?
No, not on the SCCM. With Intune only. With an autopilot.
Intune is not
hybrid thing only.
It will be Azure. You don't have on-premise AD, right?
On-premise, sorry in the word. Azure, yeah.
You have set up an on-premise
Azure AD, John, yeah.
Yeah. Then check your Azure AD connector and see how the sync time and all those things. There are so many scripts. So if the autopilot is failing in upper
that's what.
page or device to page?
No, it's only failing in the sense like what is happening is right. So when I try to connect to the over the VPN, right? So for example, I do have a third-party application for the VPN connectivity. For example,
Using always on VPN,
global
you are trying to
protection.
do.
I'm not doing on always on VPN. I'm trying to using this global product application VPN tool actually.
Okay.
So that is okay. No problem. I'll discuss on this later when we are doing on this.
Yeah, because see, there are million solutions. I mean, million problems that you face when it comes to Azure Active Directory and on-premise Active Directory when it comes to hybrid domain. There are a lot of challenges even which we have faced when Microsoft is not able to resolve those challenges for us. They are trying to overhaul on-premise Active Directory in some of the solutions as well, which was for us. Yeah, try to see how it works. But I'll be talking a lot about workflows, so that if that workflow might help you in the class, it might help you. I do not know, but for me it works. Yeah. But I'm not going to
Thanks.
an on-premise environment. It's going to be completely an Azure environment for the class. Okay, because of the limitations. Yeah. Yes. Others, any questions? Guys, anybody else has any questions? If not, I'll come to us. You can always ask.
Kishore,
Yes.
say this training will be more on the Intune administrator part or as well as in like the packaging part also. It
I
will
will
be
not
both
be going
combination.
very deep on packaging. I'll be talking about PowerShell app deployment toolkit scripting. Okay, little bit
Okay.
about scripting. Yes, it will be about. You'll be able to do application deployment using Intune. You'll be able to configure Windows separate workspace. You'll be able to do
Okay.
autopilot. So you'll be able to design the enrollment methods. You'll be able to
Okay.
design your own dashboard, basically your Intune dashboard. Then I'll be talking about reporting and all those things. So yeah, other than this, it will be basically for whatever you need for your current market projects that I will be covering.
Okay. Fine.
Class number
Thank you.
4,
That's
I'll try to include in this. If I'm able to. Yeah, Suresh, go ahead. Hello. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Kishore, that's all.
that's all. Okay, perfect. So guys, so thank you for attending the demo. If you guys have any questions, still you can always reach out to me through the Lara Online guys, and I hope to see you most of you guys in the class. Okay, I'm pretty sure it will be interesting class. We can demystify Intune for you with my best of my ability. I'll help you with it. Okay. Thank you so much for attending this demo, guys. See you guys all in the class. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.